Good day, everyone. Welcome to my channel. Warning, this channel is not for the faint of heart. My videos intend to tell a story about some of the most horrific, shocking, and even heinous crimes that have ever happened in the Philippines. So, dear listener, if you want to hear a real story, grab a drink, sit back, relax, and let me tell you about the original Chop Chop Lady, Lucila Lulu. Our story starts with a young lady who had big dreams. She left her home of Candaba, Pampanga to try her luck in the big city, Manila. She initially worked as a waitress in a small bar and apparently was really good with money. She saved and in no time was able to start a couple of business ventures. The first being a beauty salon on Mayhaliga Street and a cocktail lounge called Pagoda along Rizal Avenue in Santa Cruz, Manila. During this time, Lucila met a police officer named Aniano de Vera who was married but still pursued her. They soon fell in love and began living together in common law marriage. Their union was blessed with a child, and Lucila, like any career woman, was very busy managing her businesses and raising a family. All seemed well until a fateful summer day in 1967 when Lucila suddenly disappeared. It seems initially no one reported her missing, as everyone just assumed she was spending time with someone else. Apparently, Lucila was the type of woman who was known to have had many lovers at the same time. Then, on May 28th, police found human body parts. A woman's pair of legs, cleanly cut in four pieces, wrapped with newspaper, dated May 14th. The legs were found in a garbage can along Malabon Street, not far from her lounge Pagoda. The garbage collector that found that body said that the parts were cold to the touch, as if they had come from some sort of freezer. He also noted that the toes were well pedicured, like they belonged to someone who was well off. Almost a day later, a torso with arms were found along EDSA near Guadalupe Bridge. These parts were also wrapped in newspaper, this time dated May 23. The body was identified to be Lucila's, whose fingerprints were on file when she applied for a police clearance back when she had just arrived in Manila. Investigators noted that whoever killed Lucila was highly skilled with a knife or has had some kind of medical knowledge, as the parts were very cleanly cut. In initial reports, they also noted that since the parts were frozen and in different parts of the city, they were looking for someone with access to a huge freezer and automobile. Several suspects were rounded up and questioned, most of whom were Lucila's present and former lovers. Problem is, all of them had alibis for the night in question. First, a man who she was supporting as a sugar mommy. Second, her common law partner of 7 years. And third, an executive of a printing firm who was suspected as the cardboard material used in wrapping the newsprints that were found under the torso of Lucila were produced by his company, although he too had an alibi, and that other angles were no longer explored further by the police. Then, a fourth suspect came forward due to his guilty conscience. A 28-year-old dentistry student named Jose Luis Santiano. It was June 15, 1967, when he confessed in his own handwritten statement that he experienced a mental blackout and strangled Lucila to death. He too was also rumored to be one of Lucila's lovers. However, he claimed that Lucila tried to seduce him, and when he refused, she threatened to create a scandal. This was when lost his mind and killed her. He even mentioned commuting in taxis and jeepneys and disposing of the head in Diliman, QC. Police also found dried blood under his bed where he said he kept the body before disposing of it. The head was never found. Open and shut case, right? Wrong. 3 days later, Jose Luis was singing a different tune. He retracted his earlier statement and said instead that three men were the real killers and that he was just coerced and threatened to confess to the murder. The police insisted that Luis did it, especially with all the evidence found in his room. They claim he was only following his lawyer's suggestion to retract the statement. Due to technicalities, he was later released, and some even say that he is still alive and living abroad. Without any other leads, the police reached a dead end. Although it is also interesting to note that in the US, around the same time, they were also hunting a serial killer named the Black Dahlia Murderer. A police officer named Steve Hodel suspected that his father, Dr. George Hodel, was the Black Dahlia murderer. And during his investigation, Steve Hodel found that his father had been in Manila in the 1960s, leading him to believe that his father may have been the one behind Lucila's murder. Who do you think did it? Was it the young man she was supporting? The longtime partner she had grown apart from? The executive who was also her boarder? Or was it Jose Luis Santiano who already confessed to the murder but later retracted it? Or do you believe that a serial killer from the States is to blame? The case remains open and unsolved. Thank you for listening to the story. I hope you found this video interesting. If you did, please don't forget to subscribe. Hope to see you again soon.